Okay, let's check the comments on the first video. Okay, piece of crap. Go to hell. The worst thing on the internet since the irate gamer. Yada yada yada. This is boring. I'm gonna take a break. Mortal Kombat is awesome. Wait, didn't they make a movie out of this? Oh yeah. Let's do a review of it. Mortal Kombat is a video game franchise that began in 1992 as an arcade game that became very popular and very controversial for its large amount of blood and gory combat. However, amidst all the blood and gore, there was a fighting game that was very fun and addicting to play, and became one of the biggest and most well-known fighting game franchises alongside Street Fighter, and spawned a long line of sequels. Whenever I don't feel like performing bloody torture on my victims, I'm satisfied with the button-mashing gore fest that is the Mortal Kombat series. The most recent addition to the series being Mortal Kombat. Why does it share the exact same name as the first game? I hate when games do that shit! No taglines, or numbering, or anything. Just the exact same name as the first game. That's just lazy and pointless. I don't want to call the first Mortal Kombat 1 or Mortal Kombat 92 and calling this game Mortal Kombat 9 or Mortal Kombat 2011. So dumb. Well, getting back on topic, that game was awesome, and Mortal Kombat in general was awesome. And people during the 90s couldn't agree more. And thus, in 1995, there was a movie adaptation to this popular franchise called Mortal Kombat. Whoa, wait a minute. A movie based on a video game? Those things usually suck. Yes, a lot of those movies based off video games did suck. A lot. However, Mortal Kombat? Not so much. In fact, I could argue it is one of the best video game movies out there that is actually based on a video game property. Oh, you don't believe me? Then let's start Mortal Kombat. So the movie begins with... Oh hell yeah, I love this song! Seriously, no words can describe the awesomeness that is Techno Syndrome, also known as the Mortal Kombat song. It makes you want to get on your seat and kick some ass! Seriously, this song is just epic. It gives off an energized kind of feeling that fits very well with the fight scenes. I think modern action films could take a note from Mortal Kombat, and have more energized soundtracks. It'll at least make them less boring. Let's talk about the plot of this movie. An evil sorcerer named Shang Tsung hosts a fighting tournament featuring many strong fighters from many different dimensions, with plans of winning the tournament in order for his dark dimension known as Outworld to conquer our dimension called Earthrealm. However, a wise deity named Raiden tries to prevent this from happening by seeking the help of three heroes, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya Blade, who are also entering the tournament for their own reasons. Sonya is after a dangerous criminal named Kano, who is also a fighter in the tournament. Johnny Cage is there to gain a boost in his ego after rumors of him faking his stunts are rising, and Liu Kang is there because he's Asian. Well, actually he's there because his brother was murdered by Shang Tsung, who also fulfilling prophecy but claims Liu Kang is the chosen one, who is destined to save Earthrealm from evil, making it both a matter of vengeance and fate. You know, I like the more racist reason. So, these three heroes have to survive Mortal Kombat, as well as Shang Tsung himself, in order to save the world.
The fate of billions will depend upon you. Sorry.
The Mortal Kombat games focus on a group of fighters from many dimensions coming into fighting bloody combat. The movie's plot is basically the same thing, except they slightly tweaked it to work in the film. And there's no blood. This is PG-13 violence. Would I have liked the film more if it had gore? Well, yeah. It's Mortal Kombat. It's kind of a bloody and vicious fighting game. Having red goo splatter across these fight scenes would definitely add something a little bit extra to this film. But I think those fighting scenes are still pretty awesome, in spite of the lack of gore. This movie incorporates the simple plot and characters from the early Mortal Kombat games and constructs a simple plot that works in a film, something that other video game adaptations simply fail to do. The characters are also well integrated into the story and make for some very interesting adaptations from the game. They've managed to give a lot of the characters some kind of role or relevance in the story. Liu Kang is the hero of the story and gains the most focus and development of all the characters. Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage are the supporting protagonists, with Sonya being the tough secret agent who needs no help from anybody, and Johnny Cage being the egotistical comic relief. Their characters work, with Johnny Cage managing to have some pretty funny lines.
You want me to carry your luggage?
Yeah, I pay money, you carry the bags. Or is that too complicated?
I got it.
Good. Thank God I didn't ask him to park the car.
Well, I found it funny. And Sonya Blade, I know this is supposed to be the moment that shows Sonya that despite her experience and skills, there will be moments where she needs to rely on the help of others to save her. But really, could you not find any other way to show this than with the fucking arm lock? Seriously, the situation is just too Princess Peachy for this. For this.
You know, you gotta admire her. When she sets her mind on something...
It's not her mind you're admiring.
It's true.
True indeed. Raiden isn't actually a fighter in this movie. Instead, he's more like an Obi-Wan-esque mentor character. I think it really works, as it adds more of a mystic, godlike quality to his character. Shang Tsung is a lovable hemi-villain. He's just such a bastard that you just love to hate this guy. Kano is also enjoyable in that typical foreign action star kind of way. Although I don't know whether his accent is more Schwarzenegger or Van Damme.
She's here. Right on time.
You know, one-on-one, man-to-man, hand-to-hand. Just like my daddy taught me.
You decide! Then there's probably the two most iconic characters in the Mortal Kombat franchise. Two fighters with a history of hatred, torment, death, and Resurrection, responsible for one of the biggest bitter rivalries in video game history. Their badassery knows no bounds, and are able to control the elements of fire and ice. They are Sub-Zero and Scorpion. These guys are just pure awesome, and they do some pretty awesome shit in the movie. The first fight with Sub-Zero and a goon was pretty cool. Also, there is the fight scene between Scorpion and Johnny Cage, which I consider the best fighting scene in the whole film. Although it's a shame they never get the chance to fight each other, despite them being...
deadliest of enemies.
yeah, that. Too bad that will never happen on the silver screen. As adaptations to popular video game characters, I do believe these characters work in bringing things from the game, as well as adding some things for the movie, allowing for some very familiar but still unique interpretations of the Mortal Kombat characters. Also there's this guy named Art that wasn't really in the games, but was specifically made for this movie. He dies, and that's it. Wow, this review's becoming analysis-y right now. I need a joke. Women's rights. Oh, okay. Oh. The special effects are all over the place in this movie. From the crappy effects, like Reptile, to the decent effects, like Goro, to the very impressive effects, like some of the landscape backgrounds. Speaking of Reptile, his character really baffles me in the movie. In the beginning, he was portrayed as a shitty CGI lizard that can turn invisible.
Invisible! What the fuck?
Then, later in the movie, he jumped into a stone gargoyle statue thing, and that somehow turns him into Reptile from the video game. And then, when he gets into a fight with Liu Kang, you can see he's wearing store-brand sneakers. Wait, why is a lizard slash stone gargoyle slash fighting man wearing Nikes? You know, I should stop putting too much logic into this. This isn't Citizen Kane, or Vertigo, or whatever else is going to be the best movie of all time. Now, there is one thing I personally like about this movie. This might make me sound crazy, but I just love the look of this movie. Not the visuals, or the settings, or the direction, but actually the way this movie looks. I don't even know what it is I like about it. I just simply love looking at the movie. Not even sure what to call this. Nice visual, gorgeous atmosphere, cool lighting? I'm especially not sure if this is intentional or not. Did the director want the movie to have these cool visuals, or was it just the 90s graininess of the footage? I got it! I know what to call this. I'll call it lookativity. Yeah, that's right. I love the lookativity of this movie. I just love the way this movie looks. And despite some negative reviews people have said about this movie, I still decided to check it out based mostly on how much I love the lookativity of this movie. Now, along with the cool lookativity, I will defend this movie by saying that I think Mortal Kombat succeeds as a video game adaptation where others have failed. Now you might be wondering to yourselves, why did this movie succeed as an adaptation while many other films just simply failed horribly? I think the answer to that question is very simple. The people making it gave a shit about being true to the source material. So many video game adaptations were directed, produced, and or written by people who didn't give two shits about the source material. Writing whatever dribble they wanted to make, maybe giving a couple of characters the names of people from the video games, but having nothing else in common with the characters, and not even being well done direction-wise to be considered a good product on its own. However, I could tell the writers, producers, and directors did in fact work hard to create a product that fans could be satisfied with, as shown by incorporating many moves, fatalities, and other elements from the game.
Scorpion wins. Fatality.
Fatality.
That said, this movie is far from a classic, and I think only Mortal Kombat fans and some action movie fans would really get any real enjoyment from this movie. But still, having a loving tribute to a video game franchise that fans can really enjoy is much better than all the Super Mario Bros., Street Fighters, and Uwe Boll films in the world. It's too bad they didn't make a sequel to this thing. I mean, the movie does end on a clear cliffhanger. It's a shame that nothing came out of it. I'm sure it would have been very... Just let me pretend for a couple of seconds! Overall, I give Mortal Kombat a 3.5 out of 5 with the title of a good movie. It's not a great movie, but a pretty good movie, as well as a loving tribute to the Mortal Kombat franchise that I recommend fans check out. So, that's it for my review. I'm the Cinematic Lunatic saying, I'm not just insane, I'm insane for cinema. See ya.
Loyalty is what I need to see from you. You're insecure. I can see the fear that breathes in your heart.
Lightning fingers.